Muslimah, a Muslim lady marrying a non-Muslim man, that one also Islam ruled it out. In other words, there is no any room for a Muslim woman to marry a non-Muslim, irrespective of which faith, by the way. As long as this is not a Muslim, you are not allowed. Islam prohibited that also to preserve its identity of Islam. Why are we saying this? Mr. Wiondo usually wants us to go into the reality. The reality is, members of other faith, we meet them at different levels. We interact with them at the level of humanity. That's it. As a student, you have non-Muslim students. As a worker or an employee of a certain organization, you have workmen who are not Muslims. And by the way, some of them have some good values because they are human beings. So because of our interaction with them, we happen to appreciate their values. And this is okay because they are human beings. They happen to be with good values. They are honest. They are sincere. Some of them are bright. Some of them are this. So we admire and appreciate their values at the level of humanity. This might be one of the reasons which has tempted some of our Muslim sisters to fall in love. One of the reasons, some of the reasons they bring forward, they say that they have some good moral values. You know, some of them have appreciated them in such a way. Then others say, Muslim men are not available. I have been here since first year. I am ready. I have made all what it takes to show that I am single and searching. I have not seen any Muslim man coming. The only I see are non-Muslims. Then others could say, I love them because they are not polygamists. You know, the polygamy phobia, that when I marry them, I have the security that they will never marry another person apart from me. Then others say, they care. They care. I have heard that. Some sisters have come to me that you Muslim men, you don't care. Non-Muslim men care. Their care is just exploitative kind of care. They are just targeting you. That's why they show some kind of what? Care. Now, I might not take too much time to address all these reasons. But as a matter of fact, you know, talking about the polygamy phobia, polygamy to men, it is like a rule. The only difference between Islam and members of other faith is we Muslims, we do it openly, legally, lawfully. For them, they do it secretly and illegally. But the bottom line is we are all polygamists. So no one should ever be convinced that because I want to fall in love with a non-Muslim because he's not a polygamist. But even if we don't go deep into all this, Muslim sisters just want to borrow a leaf from the story of Zainab which we had. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes a statement, all your reasoning must disappear. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala overruled any marriage with a non-Muslim man. That's it. We are talking about Allah who created you. We are talking about Allah Al-Hakim, you know, the most wise. We are talking about Al-Kabir Al-Azim, the one who created you. Having looked at all of you comprehensively, he decided and pronounced that you are not allowed to marry a non-Muslim. Even if you don't seek for any other kind of excuse, that one is enough. Allah says, that is in Surah Al-Mumtahina, فَإِنْ عَلِمْتُمُوهُنَّ مُؤْمِنَاتٍ فَلَا تَرْجِعُوهُنَّ إِلَى الْكُفَّارِ. once you know that these are Muslim believers, Muslim women, then don't take them back to the non-Muslims. What's the ruling? La hunna hillul lahum. They are not lawful wives for the unbelievers. Walahum yahilluna lahun. And they are not lawful husbands for Muslim women. What does it mean? I wish to take this opportunity to make it categorically clear that any Muslim lady who is in a marriage with a member of another faith, you are in zina. You are in zina. You are in adultery. Don't find any minimal excuse on that, because this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has announced. The logic, why you are prohibited from that? Islam is a system which set forth its own qualifications. What Islam did in the best way is that it gave humanity the freedom to choose what they want to believe in. It gave that man who says that he loves you and he wants to be your husband, Islam gave him a choice to become a Muslim and therefore qualify to marry you, or to stay in his religion and he disqualifies himself. So it is not, by the way, Islam which disqualified him. Islam just put everything on the table. Choose what you want. And instead, he chose that one. There is a lot of hikmah why Allah prohibited a Muslim lady from marrying a non-Muslim. Number one, you all know, children follow the faith of their father. Young Muslim lady, will you be comfortable and happy to see your biological children choosing another path apart from the path of Allah? That is question number one. Then number two, are you going to be comfortable to be under such a man whereby your scale of prohibitions differ? Because by virtue of being a non-Muslim, he has some foods and drinks which are allowed to him. There is no problem for him because his Christianity does not stop him from passing by a pork butcher to buy something for himself. You are the wife and your role is to prepare what the husband has brought. So, are you going to be comfortable to prepare such a dish? What about alcohol? What about many other things and so on? Even the socialization itself is going to be difficult. I understand some people say that we can set some ground rules at home. Yes, you might set them, but at the end of the day, those very rules can also be violated. So, we want to conclude this by saying that, even if we might be having a lot of reasons, a lot of justifications, just have to know that Islam ruled out that. In conclusion of our first part, Islam, in its permission of marriage with members of other faith, it balanced between two things: preservation of identity of Islam, and it prohibited marriage to the mushrikeen, and it prohibited a Muslim sister from marrying a non-Muslim. That is